And now, introducing Casey Carter.
Hey, it's Casey. And I know you're thinking, girl, you late. Listen, don't mess with me today. Not today. I'm tired and we do what we got to do. And my girl, she and I were working through some technical difficulties and we're here. Before I bring on Ty Shaw, I want to first shout out Jet Setting Jasmine and King Noir. They were here last week. They were awesome. They talked about, anal Uber, putting foots in ass. Like, you ever heard that phrase? I'm going to put my whole foot up your ass. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Jasmine, she did that. She did that. So I want to thank them for coming last week because, like my guest today, they had, or to say, Jasmine had something going on just prior to the show. And,
Right.
and my guest today has something going on just prior to the show. So let me just go on ahead. I'm going to just bring girlfriend in. I'm going to take myself out of sequence. First of all, let me just give girlfriend
Mm.
the camera all to herself for a second here.
I'm like, don't put it on me. Don't put it on me.
This is the magnificent Ty Shaw, y'all. Say hey to Ty Shaw, please.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Thanks for having me, Casey. You know I love you. I'm super happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you, girl. Work. Just hold on with me as I'm like, because I done messed up all of our. Hold on, one of these is right. There it is.
Right. Here
Right.
we go.
There
Here
it
we
is.
go.
Ah, thank you.
We in here.
Thank. Listen, this is why, as they say, I fuck with you. 'Cause
Okay, we gonna work it out.
I love it.
You know the technology. We got to get up, catch up with it, but we are here.
We are here, and we gonna do the damn thing. Is what it amounts to. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love Jet Set Jasmine and King Noir. I'm a huge fan.
Hey,
I subscribe to the things.
because you.
And I'm here for the toes and the butts.
Oh,
Because I've done that too.
okay. So wait.
Sorry.
Let me just slow it down for a second. Okay. So first of all, you have finger floggers of theirs, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I have my royal fetish floggers.
It is.
Okay.
There it
And I'm waiting for the royal fetish flogging course because I'm going to be there too. Okay. I'm here for it because I want to get down how King Noir do. You know how he
I
be
know how
moving
you
the
do. Girl,
cameras.
he Florentine like it ain't nobody's business.
We do. And I just honestly, like Dame's secret, I just learned how to Florentine like a year ago. Like that was never my shit. But I finally buckled down. I got me a DVD and I said, I am going to learn how to Florentine just because of those royal fetish floggers. And I was here for it.
Okay, and let me tell you, I haven't gotten to getting down with a DVD, but you know what a sister did? Let me tell you what a
What
sister
did you do?
did. I was busy watching Jasmine and King and some other Florentine floggers, and I'm like, that shit looked like double dutch. Mm.
Yep, yep, yep. And I hit him with the double dutch, but I had to hit him with the figure eight. And I was like, okay, we have to take this back to 90s club kid, lightsabers. I have to go back to my roots, okay, to really get this. I
Yeah.
had to call upon my New York, like, I can do this. Come on.
And see, and that's the thing. So when they open up that course, I'm gonna be standing side by side with you,
Right there. Right
okay?
there.
Because
Right there.
in my
I'm
game.
such a big fan. And I love Jasmine. I love the work that she does, both with on the therapy side and on the content side. I think she's amazing. She's a goddess. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, there we go. Because girl, when she was talking about putting a whole foot in somebody's ass, I'm like, I know I have said things like that, But girl from
I haven't put my whole entire foot. I haven't put my whole entire foot, but I have gotten like at least all 5 of my toes in to like that knuckle part. You know what I mean? And even that took like training on that submissive over time, toe by toe. Okay, that is not a feat you just wake up and do. Okay.
Can I just say, so my uncle's wife was watching last week when Jasmine was talking about putting her foot in somebody's ass. So I'm gonna say right now, girl, Tony, I know you still messed up because I just talk about one toe at a time. So I know you messed up already.
Yeah, because it came to me because I started putting like, the thigh strap on like my foot or an arm, if I would be in different positions, to torture a submissive. And once that, I just kind of got lazy and I put it on my foot. You know what I'm saying? So that while I was kicked back and my feet were up, the submissive could fuck himself against my foot. And I was like, it's like it just came to me like a vision, girl. I was like, if I could put this in here, I could probably, girl, bye. And that was all she wrote. You know what I'm saying? It just comes to you like divine inspiration. You know what I'm saying? When you just fucking with these submissives.
Oh, listen, you know what? I think this is okay. See, let me just say this. This is why I brought Tasha on. We ain't been on 5 minutes and we just all up in people's ass.
Cutting up. This is what happens when you put Dames in the same room. It just gets crazy. My girl Toxic. Hey, Goddess. I love her.
I know you do. Y'all some seriously sadistic sisters. I love it. Love it.
Okay. She would be proud to know that I have finally learned how to wheel a single tail and how to snap it like a towel.
Okay.
Like she taught me. Okay.
Okay. And can I say, so here again is a very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Established dame saying there was something I learned from someone else. And just if I could for a split second be serious about what that says about you as a dame, that it doesn't mean that you immediately know everything and can't say what you don't know. And that is one of the many things I love and respect about you, is because you have no hesitation in saying this is something that I'm learning and I've learned it from another.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because I feel like I come from the old school. I'm not going to say old guard because there's, I feel like there's a bit of elitism attached to that term now, and people really trying to downplay some of the newer ways of engaging in kink and fetish. And I'm not with that, but I definitely am old guard in terms of like ritual, protocol, and really, really believing in mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
When I was coming up in this game, you had mentors. You had to know somebody who knew somebody. Someone took you under their wing. And even now in the digital age, there are a laundry list of dame I look up to that I have pulled inspiration and have learned a lot from. Mistress Caramel is an OG. She's mother superior, queen mother of all of it, honey. I've always looked up to Mistress Caramel, just her poise, her elegance, her dominance, how she performs her dominance, and how she has always supported Black women and given them a platform. I've always really loved Mistress Caramel.
Yeah, and let me just, before you move on to your next point, let a sister know when you're trying to head over there to see old girl, because
I'm trying to be up in the Femdom Ball this year because she brought it back. It was canceled during the COVID, but she brought it back for this year.
Okay, well,
so I'm trying to head to the UK this year for the Femdom Ball, so we can make a group thing of it. I'm here for that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I love Mistress Unknown, and Pimpstress, Mistress Thick.
Yep.
A huge fan, and I love their intelligence, how articulate they are, how just knowledgeable and conscious they are as they talk about being Black women in fetish and BDSM, and their podcast is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Jasmine is amazing. I've loved watching her kind of grow in her dominance on film and her come into it. So it's just always good to see dames at different stages of their dominance. And I'd continue to learn from everybody, really and truly.
Yeah. And that's I think what's missing for a lot of us females in general is being okay with saying out loud, I watch this one, I take inspiration from that one. I think one of the main reasons I wanted to have you was because of your activatist goddess work. All right, so let me just put that out there now, because we're obviously in this conversation, right?
Yes, we jump right in.
Yes.
It's a lot to go through.
Yes. And so I wanted to, especially with this being International Women's Month or whatever, right? So I wanted to really sort of talk about the fact that, the times where it's me, you, Amina, all of them, it's always this very female focused experience. And
right.
What I love about the idea of activated goddess is, first and foremost, it doesn't say I'm gonna, that I gotta tell you you're a goddess. It's saying it's there.
No, we're here. It's about affirmation, and I love that you brought up Amina. Amina is another one of my favorite female dominants, and I love how she just engages in what I call GCR, a goddess-centered relationship.
Right.
Because I think female-led is a little limiting, and it gives us the visual of a white woman in like about $2,000 worth of latex, and that it's all about sex. And I think that what's important is to center Black women in the conversation around lifestyle dominance and kink as a lifestyle, and that we do this too. Mm-hmm. And I love that Amina has been just such a beautiful example of what an approach to a goddess-centered, female-led relationship really looks like in practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in terms of activated goddess is essentially, the next evolution of my brand, because, my foundation is a spiritual one. Mm-hmm. Right? My approach to everything is as a priest doing this. Even kink and BDSM, I consider myself very much a tantric dominant, and I find that kink is an expression of my devotion to the goddess. And my submissives, when they go through my training, they're working to become my devotee. They're working to worship me as the embodiment of goddess. And for me, activated goddess just grew out of a need to put it all together, to say my spirituality and my sexuality were not compartmentalized, that they live in the same space. And that's true for most dominants I know. Most dominants really come to this work maybe starting out with a sexual curiosity, and we grow and understand that this is sort of an integral part of who we are, our self-expression, and of course, our sexuality, which is our spirituality. There's no separation between the two. And for me, really living an activated lifestyle, an integrated lifestyle, full in my womanhood, meant activating myself for coming into alignment with myself, mind, body, spirit, finances, and relationship-wise. And that's what I do in Activated Goddess. We'll talk about spirituality, and I give those trainings in Dame mentorship and sexuality education and education on Tantra. But I also teach about spiritual topics. I also teach about financial management and how one increases one's wealth and abundance, because I believe that us women that are living this lifestyle, that are activated in this way, what I've noticed on my journey for myself and for others is that the deeper we sink into our dominance and center ourselves, the more we get into that truth telling and owning of what we are, the more we activate that Shakti in us, the more we really walk as goddess on this planet. And it's nerve wracking at first. We're scared to come into it. But once we line that up, that broke shit goes out the window. That bullshit goes out the window. The more you get that sexual fire and you're in alignment, you're an abundant activated goddess.
You know what I love about what you said, and I think something that shows what you're talking about is different than just the affirmation. It's something that I can say I personally had to come to terms with. And it's the acceptance of who I am, the walking in the fulfillment of the who I am.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and once you, as you say, get over that initial anxiety about that, it becomes easy. And you find, to your point, and I'm saying this, and this is not me saying it because I've actually taken your workshop, but it's me
It's our journey.
that this ain't bullshit. This isn't you trying to, take people's money. I tell people all the time, it is when I became comfortable with Casey and let Casey be Casey, not try to contain and cage and all of that. When I got comfortable with her and let her be in her fullness, stuff just,
Right.
you know.
And I think that's one of the powerful things about Black women finding kink or being more out loud about kink, because folks like to say we were never a part of this and we've been here from the beginning, but we're not going to go there. Because a lot of times when they're talking about old guard, they're talking about post-World War II veterans that came back from war and started to establish this sort of gay male-centric culture that we knew as the foundation of leather culture. I mean, that's just the history.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, Black people have always been a part of this, whether we take this iteration of kink or whether we look at fetish in antiquity and historically, we've been doing this. You know what I mean? But I think that one of the powerful things about women becoming or coming out in their dominance right now is that becoming a female dominant and growing in that, when you live it as a lifestyle and you really do this, really opens up something spiritually for women. It brings them into their power and love of self in such a different way. And it activates something deeper in the women that I have seen. And I know that when I have been in scene and when I talk to other dominants too, and you're in top space and your sub is in subspace, there's an altered state of consciousness and an energetic exchange taking place there that you can't articulate. It's a different place.
It is.
And I think it behooves us all to acknowledge that, acknowledge the unique energy we bring to the situation, because we also have unique challenges in the way that we're fetishized, race play, and the number of other things that happen and why people choose us just because we big titty Black dominants. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it is. And
You know?
but that's what I love. Again, this is what I love about you is, I mean, and now granted, I'm not gonna like share our girlfriend moments in these conversations, but in these conversations, we do acknowledge the fact that we are, fetishized in this way. And what I've seen from a lot of Black women is they're so opposed to the fact, they're so bothered by it that they don't make it work for them.
Right. I get a lot of pushback about that because I'm like, use it.
Yeah.
Of course you're being fetishized. You're a woman first. You're Black second. When we're walking in the street, I know you like to believe that everyone thinks they're looking at you like this human being. They're looking at a vagina on legs. Right. That's what's happening, baby.
Yeah.
So either you're going to realize that and turn that on its head in a way that serves you, or you're not.
Right.
But you're not going to get the fetish out of fetish.
Thank you.
It's not a thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not a thing.
Thank you.
And it was like, I don't want to be fetishized. Then you don't want to be alive.
Oh,
Because everybody's getting fetishized about something.
in some
Trust and believe that.
yes. Girl.
Trust and believe that.
Girl.
Okay.
And see, and this
you might want to profit off of it for a change.
Okay, that was my next statement. That was my next statement. If you can't see this as a money-making opportunity, then yes, go on over there, sit in that corner, because I'm going to make that money you don't want to make.
I'm going to take every dollar, and I'm going to do it in my fetishized push-up bra and my corset and my fetishized lace whatever and my heels. Okay.
I mean, because, listen, how it's done, it's going to be done. It's going to be done. It's not going to be done because I'm not participating. So since I know it's going to be done, allow me to participate and control the situation.
Exactly. And I think that, again, that's another a powerful aspect to female dominance, because the concept of the female dominant, most men, most submissives are approaching it from this really fetishized sort of male fantasy patriarchal way, right? That is already a dynamic.
Right.
So, and I think people with being a dominant, they get very caught up in the physical acts, which are very important. You should be competent. You should be aware of safety. You should do all of these things, right? You should be risk aware, etc. However, the bulk of the work is psychological, and it's contingent upon your state of mind primarily.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't realize that the reason why the door is even open for them to be here in front of you asking to worship you is a result of some patriarchal male projection fantasy on your ass, I don't know what game you in. Because that's the game we in. That's legit the game.
That is the game.
And now it's your time to say, oh, you and your money that booked this session, you think you in control, white man or black man or whatever type of man you are, because patriarchy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Let me show you a thing or two.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got to come in there with that, because it don't matter, especially when you're dealing with male submissives. There's always going to be that aspect there because they equate money to power. That's what patriarchy says to do.
Yes. Oh, girl.
There's not going to be, in the training of men, especially for female dominance, if you don't understand these dynamics and what you're getting from the top, you're not going to be successful at training men. You're not. And if you're unwilling to use their desire against them, to weaponize desire, you're not ready to be a female dominant.
Ooh, girl. Let me pause that thought right there, because I spend a lot of time at Exotica, and I see folks who I'm gonna say it like this: put on a costume and play a character. But what you just said right there, that's a hardcore fact. I've had multiple conversations with Toxic Goddess about the fact that it's not my leather, my latex, my corset that makes me the dominant. That's in here. It's in here underneath this skin.
I've done whole sessions butt naked. I've done whole sessions in Timbs and jeans. It don't matter. It don't matter what you got on. It's about and that's what I'm saying. We grow into it because we have to discover it, some of us, and be introduced to it.
Right.
But it's not a costume or a performance. It's a discovering of yourself, that within your truth, you are this thing. And you show up as this thing in this way and play and perform it in these ways. But if you don't have that connection that you are this, if you think you are the latex, you are the heels, you are the fancy flogging or this, that, and the other, first of all, you're never going to have a meaningful, long-lasting interaction or relationship cultivated with a submissive.
Right.
Because the only thing that lasts is authenticity. second of all, you're going to find yourself hurt in some form of fashion, especially as a female dominant, because men are wired to test that. And you're not physically dominating them all the time, unless you do like wrestling and other things where you're physically dominating them. So what you have at your disposal is your mind and their desire.
Yes, girl. Yes,
You know?
girl.
And for the most part, men don't respect shit but force, even especially submissives. You got to take that mind by force. You know what I'm saying?
See, and listen. Okay, so wait. Okay, let me go back. Cause listen, I feel like
I know.
Oh, girl.
So many rabbit holes.
I don't even know where to go next. So this is where I want to go now. I want to talk about your activated goddess, because
right.
This is the mindset of the activated goddess. This is where she goes. Because when I tell you, me, Ty, Amina, so many other women be sitting up, and this is before Amina had the house. She in Hawaii now. We going
and I'm trying to get down to Hawaii. Like for real, we all need to be down in Hawaii.
That's an after the show conversation, but
okay.
But my point is, we would be up in her apartment just having this vibe, and everybody, and so I want to go back to the activated goddess. I want to go back to what this course is about. And I know you're in the midst of it now, right? So next, how does one get involved with Activated Goddess?
So Activated Goddess is my whole academy, my whole platform. And what I have is I've created an entire certification to train Activated Goddess coaches and bring people into the Activated Goddess method, which is our 5-point method of aligning minds, body, spirit, finances, and relationships. Okay. And I understand that these 5 points kind of weave together, as we talk about in Tantra, weaving and integration, to create a praxis for liberation. Everything that I do is centered in liberation. So the 2 courses, so there are several courses that lead towards my certification, and I'm releasing them bit by bit. I'm only one person, honey. And it's only so much I can do. And right now I have my first 2 classes in the certification out. One is Goddess Worship, a kink approach to female domination. Okay. A tantric approach to kink, where I am teaching these women about how to embody the goddess archetype within the world of female dominance, how to transform their personal relationships into female-led, goddess-centered relationships, and giving them tools and techniques to get started in their path as female dominance. My second course that I'm teaching right now is my energy sex course, where I am going through various exercises, the chakras, your energy bodies, self-healing energetically, and how that even comes up when you are training and interacting with a submissive. Because despite popular knowledge, there's a focus on the sex and the sexual, but we rarely talk about the energetic exchange, how powerful and emotional BDSM and kink scenes can be, and literally the energetic healing work we as female dominants do, holding space for submissives in this way. Anyone who has ever interacted with a submissive in a scene that has gotten super intense, where maybe the submissive is in tears, or they're releasing emotionally, or they're working through trauma, kink is such an intense playground to deal with and integrate our shadow. And many of us stumble upon that without consciousness. So it was really a class about bringing a different level of energetic consciousness into our sex, and bringing that awareness and the tools we need to maintain ourselves energetically as we do this work. When I used to work in the dungeons, and I was still pro-doming, because I don't necessarily pro dom anymore. I only take on my submissives on a personal level now. And, there's all of that. But when I was still pro doming, a lot of my fellow dames would just quickly burn out 3-4 months later, maybe 6 months tops, just because of what we would encounter and interact with clients. And I just feel that getting into sex work, getting into this type of work period, makes you so open and so vulnerable energetically, that it really is important that we have the tools in our toolkit to maintain ourselves and ground ourselves and hold space in the process. So I'm giving these 2 classes now. There are several more classes to come. Activated Goddess includes my courses, my private Facebook group, as well as my Patreon. All of my Patreon subscribers get access to my exclusive group. Patreon is super fun. That's where I'm doing a lot of teaching, mentoring, uploading videos, and basically talking about everything in my realm of expertise, as well as sharing my life. And so between my courses, my private Facebook for Patreon members, my Patreon subscription, and my private coaching for those who are seeking mentorship in the dominant space, spiritual space, or in the sacred sexuality space, I am offering private coaching through Activated Goddess as well. So it's been pretty big.
So can they get to all of that by going to your website?
Yes, they can. They can book consultations with me. They can inquire about coaching. They can book coaching sessions. The classes, because they are full right now and we just wrapped, they're not on the website right now. We just finished those first. But if they do subscribe to my email list, they will be the first to know about the next round of classes, which should be dropping in August.
Awesome. Okay. Now, I promised I was going to let you go early, but before I let you go, girl, I just wanted to share with folks, you were at my birthday party.
Yes, it was so much fun. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yes, this is...
Yes, honey.
Me and Ty.
Honey, we was in there.
Yes.
And then sexy ass Naomi was up in there with that damn champagne glass.
Yes. Yes.
It was a great fucking party, man. It was a great fucking party.
Thank you.
And Lorenzo was up in there. He is the man. Can I say how much I love Lorenzo?
Shout out to Lorenzo.
How much I love Lorenzo. Oh my God.
So let me see. I got a few more in here. I thought I had these all. So first of all, can we talk about, we haven't talked about, but I want to talk about this tie shaw right here.
Oh yeah, when I was tying. Yeah, I was tying there.
Yes. Oh, girl.
And I like to get the thick chocolate sisters because they don't be putting us in the ropes, Casey.
Listen. This is that was like everything. And I cannot remember this sister's name. What was her name?
That is Nova. And she is an amazing model. She is a dancer. She is just all around the sweetest thing ever. And I was so honored to work with her. She's a blast to work with.
Talk about
and a lot of fun.
Moment. You are pulling her up in this moment.
Yes, I am. Hoisting that ass up.
Okay.
Yes, honey.
And I love the fact, and I've heard this from others, other thick girls who talk about that weightless feeling.
That's right. That's right. It's how you tie. It's how you balance the weight in the tie. It's not that we're too voluptuous to be tied. It's that they have to know how to balance the weight in the tie.
Yes. And I love. Here's another. And this is, let me tell you what I love about this photo. Look at that look on her face.
Yes. She's happy. She's like, yes, honey. She's happy.
Okay. I'm just, ooh.
We had a good time. And that's, that's the thing. Like, as a dominant, people swear that, like, you have to be, I don't know, some mean thing
Yeah.
and treat your submissives like shit. Like that makes you a dominant. And it's like, no, especially when I'm working with Black women, I treat Black women in general with a level of deference and just acknowledgement of their divinity.
Yes.
No matter what's happening.
Lorenzo says hi, Ty.
Hey, Lorenzo.
Yeah, no, so going back to what you just said about treating of Black women. Hold on while I find the right camera view. Okay,
Yeah.
the treating of Black women. I've had conversation with people who say, what do you prefer, men or women? And my first choice is for men. That's my first choice. Well, what about the women who want to submit themselves to you? I'm like, I treat them different than I treat.
I do too. I do too.
Treat them different.
I do too. When I look at men, I feel like, okay, this is your rightful place. This is where you should be. This is the natural order of things. Right?
Right.
And I have to say that with men of other races, I even treat them differently, if I'm honest.
Yes. Yeah.
Black men get a different type of treatment from me, but there's still the fact that you're a man. And in the world of my female supremacist mind, this is still the natural order of things, right? So it's like, okay, cool. But Black women, I have a level of deference for. And I know I treat them better. I know I treat them probably the best of all.
Listen, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Because, sometimes I'm like, no. Let me show you how to whatever. And they're like, no. I want to serve. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right.
It's so hard for me. It's hard for me to have Black female submissives. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah. Because I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want to beat you.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to do things that make you feel good, maybe tie you up in pretty things, candles, sensation play, lovely things. I don't want to break out my single tail on Black women. It's hard. But it's so hard.
But I appreciate hearing you say that, because I have that same feeling. There's an initial excitement in their submission, and then there's but I can't do to you what I want to do to you.
I prefer Black women more as like pets, like where I'm the handler and they're the kitty. I love kittens, and I prefer them more as like pleasure slaves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if I had to train a Kajira, then I would want that Kajira to be a Black woman, right?
Right.
But there's even certain things I don't do with certain kinds of men. Like I won't use handcuffs and shackles with Black men. That's triggering to me.
Exactly. It's in the DNA.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's in the DNA. Yeah. Yeah.
I will rarely use whips with Black men.
It's in the DNA.
Whips, exactly. Whips, shackles, handcuffs. I don't feel comfortable in that space. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'll easily use them on other men who don't necessarily have that ancestral connection to those things and that sort of epigenetic trauma, right?
Right.
But, it's just like with Black women or women in general, really, I don't necessarily want to torture them with pain in the same way. Perhaps I'll torture them with pleasure, like forced orgasms or, deeper sensation things. And I love them as domestic slaves and, again, pleasure slaves. But, it depends. It's different things with different people.
Yes. And but here again, I think that's a teaching moment, because so many people come into this with say a stereotype of every submissive gets treated like this.
And exactly.
I think it's very, very needed to hear someone like yourself say, no, you don't treat everybody with the same sort of structure, the same techniques. You have in consideration the individual that you're working with.
And I also think that people need to take the pressure off the dominant. Like there's a sentiment that we have to come into everything having all the answers and knowing exactly what we're going to do all the time, and that's not true. We have a process of growth. That's why we need aftercare too. You know, it's a whole thing. And for me, it's also about learning the submissive. Like I had the last female submissive that I had, you know, wasn't necessarily a pain slut, but and I was uncomfortable with it at first because she was a Black woman, but over time, pushing limits, us both getting more comfortable with one another. So it's like the dominant also needs a space to get comfortable and grow in the situation too. You know what I mean?
And again, Ty, I say to you, thank you for being honest and transparent, because I think there is more people making up in their own minds, going by stereotypes of
Yeah.
what the lifestyle is, or who they should be, as a dominant.
Yes.
As
How they have to
opposed to
perform.
who
And
you are.
submissives put that on you too. Like I'm a submissive. Why aren't you dominating me in our first conversation? It's like, I don't even fucking know you.
Right. Right.
I don't even fucking know you.
Yeah.
You know, when I first meet a submissive, I'm not in instant dominant mode. Pay me, submit to me now. I'm more interested in who are you?
Right.
Like Jasmine said in her Dame, do you have the time, talent, and resources, honey?
Right.
Okay, honey, when she said that, I wrote that shit down so fast. I said, I'm going to ask everybody that question. Do you have the time, talent, and resources to serve me, honey?
Yeah.
Let's get to know that.
Right.
You know, because I'm also at a point where I'm not only pro-doming, and even when I'm past the point in my career and my development as a dominant, because we do develop, grow, and change. And at this point in my development as a dominant, I'm not willing to interact in that way with anybody I don't like. So I really want to actually get to know you and have an actual relationship with you, because I also don't want the amount of turnover I used to have.
Okay.
I'm more interested in having longer term established situations with submissives that I can grow and really push to the limits and train in the way that I want. Then when I was younger, and it would be like, okay, maybe I'll see you for 5 months, 3 months, and I don't give a fuck anymore. 10 other people are going to sign up. At this point in my development, where I want to push the things I want to learn, because we have things we want to do too, and new skills we want to acquire, and skills we want to perfect. I want to go deeper with my electro play and connecting, you know, my rope with electro play. I want to go deeper with my artistic expression and my ties and what I can do with different types of bodies. You know, I have my own, and I want to go deeper with what I can do with training in terms of all the service and domestic service that I like. Right. You know, like my smoke service and my drink service and my tea. You know, I want to be into tea parties and serving my friends and things of that nature.
Right.
And to do that level of training and really refine a submissive in the way you want, it requires more of an investment and a longer term interaction.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I ain't dealing with nobody I don't like anymore. I'm not dealing with anybody that doesn't have a personality that I don't connect to and can really, you know, do that with.
Girl. See, I knew if I had my Tasha on, she was gonna drop some knowledge on you, and I never disappoints. Never disappoints.
You know, I mean, we have a journey. People act like you just arrive at this dominance and you stay this fixed figure forever, and it's like, no. Yeah. No, we grow. We have different interests. We have different things we want to try. We have deeper places we want to push ourselves. You know, we have relationships. If it's a part of your relationship, there's different places you want to take that. If it's not, then you still need an outlet for that. You know, we have our own journey.
Okay, I'm going to make you stop because I want people to reach out to you. Let me put you up here again with your social stuff.
Yes. I am TyShaw.com, at real_Ty_Supreme. at Instagram and for the Twitters at Sex with Ty. You can catch me on Patreon too, Activated Goddess on Patreon, or find it in my website. Feel free to subscribe, interact with me, questions. I love interacting with people. If you're interested in coaching or mentorship or upcoming classes, feel free to reach out to me.
Girl, I am so happy we worked out our technical difficulties.
Yes.
It was perfect. It worked out
Yeah, it did.
perfect.
It did. I'm so happy that you have me on here. You know, I love getting on here and chatting with you.
I know.
I'm so happy I got to see Miss Toxic and Lorenzo, all the gang, and we need to link again.
Yes. So listen, lovely. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna wrap up in like the next 5 minutes because I got some other shit to do starting at 9:30. Like you, I'm moving from one thing to the next, girl.
One thing to the next, honey. That's the hustle, the entrepreneur hustle.
There it is. That's what we do. So all my love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All right, baby.
And I will see you again soon. All right, honey.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God. I love Ty Shaw. Let me just say, people. And I had said to her, all right, Ty, you know, she was like, I've been running and I, you know, just, you know, how long do you need me? And I'm like, I will let you go after, you know, 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes later. I finally let her go. Because let me tell you, we could have sat here and talked about this for the next 2 hours. Easy. We might have only stopped one time to get a cocktail. And in case you're wondering, my girl likes her crown. So you want to, I'm going to ask you, those of you who are male and want to serve a very sophisticated, dominant dame, come with your crown. Come with your crown. Please come with your crown. And then make your offering unto the goddess and go from there. But before I hang up and get ready for my next thing, which is, what is my next thing, y'all? BoobTube, okay? Coming up at 10 o'clock. BoobTube on YouTube and Periscope, which is really Twitter, because at the end of the month, Periscope goes away. And tonight we are talking about Oliver Stone. 10 p.m. Come check out me, Platinum Pussy, and Desirable Bottom on YouTube. Or just go to Exotica TV. You can find it there too. That's where I'll be in less than an hour. But next week, coming up next week. Okay, I got you, Lorenzo. Coming up next week.
Around the white chef's coat and the long white apron, right? I mean, you put yourself in control. Like, I got you. You know, I own you for this moment that comes to the food. And you are at my mercy because I'm the cooker, okay? And there is a certain amount of, I enjoy that I'm in control of that part. Am I moving into the wrong area here?
Oh, no. So, coming up next week is the beginning of a 2-part relaunch of the intimacy of food. Whew, buddy. So, back in 2018, I had this idea of talking about food and how integral food is in our relationships, how it creates these intimate moments between you and another person or you and a small group of people. And Next week is the, let's call it the soft opening of the relaunch of the Intimacy of Food. Next week, come back so we can tell you a little bit about the rim job. And we've got some pervertible demonstrations, and we've got peanut butter and jelly. Yes, next week is peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. But before I go, again, I don't, Lorenzo, I appreciate because he's always keeping me on track. In the meantime, every day, you can vote for Casey on ASN Lifestyle Magazine Awards.com. You can vote for me as Best Lifestyle and Adult Industry Best Lifestyle and Adult Industry Erotic Writer, as well as Best Lifestyle Adult Educator. How will you know if you're in the right category? Because my name is literally at the top of the list. You won't even have to look for me. You just hit on those two and vote. Every single day you can vote. All right? Okay. We got it. All right. So, again, thank you to the beautiful Taj Shaw for hanging out with us today. Thank you to all of you for coming and hanging out with us. Next week, back at 8 o'clock, will be the next episode of Casey at Night, The Intimacy of Food. Until then, or until 10 o'clock, I'll see you next time. Bye.